All right, so for reference here, I wanted to try to make this room look dark to match the movie's aesthetic. I can't show it. I'll take a picture of it. Live picture taking. I don't know if I want to capture all the garbage that. You. We're in my closet. It's a nightmare in here. We're lucky I have a desk. Okay, I record these in my closet, so you're gonna see a closet floor. But, boom. So on the floor is a white desktop computer that I moved from the living room to in here to record, and it's just blasting every color of the rainbow. And oh wait, I guess I could turn. Hold on. Yeah, I mean the TV's still gonna. So it's not gonna work because the TV's gonna. Okay, so whatever. I was trying to make it dark, but I can't because the screen's bright, this bright, it doesn't matter. Anyway, we're talking about Dog Soldiers. So Dog Soldiers is directed by Neil Marshall. Neil Marshall is the director of The Descent, Dog Soldiers. The Hellboy movie from 2019, Centurion, Doomsday, Game of Thrones, the IMAX experience. Okay, so he's the director of The Descent, and I think Doomsday people like. So he's the director of The Descent and Doomsday. But I think this might have been one of his first movies. When did The Descent come out? I'm actually curious. Hold on. What am I doing? Hellboy was 2019. Doomsday was 2008. So yeah, I think this might have been his first movie. Boom. Bam. Okay, yes. So Dog Soldiers is his first feature-length movie. Now, I own this on DVD. I did watch this on Tubi because this movie has a reputation, which I'll get into in a little bit. But I went on a thrift shopping journey a year and a half ago, maybe. I went to a thrift shop, and for $2.99, Dog Soldiers on DVD. So I picked it up, pretty much knowing that this was going to be like one of the worst ways to watch this movie, because this movie's dark, and I don't mean like subject matter wise. I mean like they didn't light anything dark. Like you can't physically fucking see what's going on in this movie sometimes because of how goddamn dark it is. I knew that was the case, and because this is a DVD from, I mean, this feels like a Blockbuster case. I don't think it is. It's missing like the little hole. I don't know. It's been, listen, we're like, what, 2 decades out from Blockbuster shutting down now, or almost. But I know Blockbuster cases used to have like the GameCube square down here. It doesn't have this, but this has the feeling of like a Blockbuster case. If you ever hold a Blockbuster case, you know what I'm talking about. They're like really heavy duty DVD cases. But I don't think that this is. I think this is just a heavy duty DVD case for some reason. Yeah, I think this was released in 2002. So this is a 2002 run DVD, like first release DVD. So I'm assuming the quality on this is terrible, because the quality on everything up until fairly recently was terrible for this movie. It recently just got a Blu-ray, well, recently, within the last 3-4 years, it got a Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray remastering, and it's shot on 16mm, so there's not a whole lot that they can do with the 4K remastering of it, but they fixed the lighting. There was a Blu-ray, Shout Factory Blu-ray, I think, made beforehand, but it like blew up the lighting, so now everything's like washed out and looks like shit. The 4K one has a pretty, from what I was looking at, like visuals and whatnot, it's got a pretty good balance of you can actually see what's happening and whatever. So I think the only way to watch this movie where you can actually make out what's going on is that 4K Blu-ray. So the Tubi release, I believe, is the Shout Factory Blu-ray rip, I think, because it's, so I don't want to say that though, because the Shout Factory Blu-ray rip has a reputation of being like overexposed. The Tubi rip was not. It was not overexposed at all. The issue was I still could not see what the was happening. So I'm not sure. Beyond that, this movie stars Sean Pertwee, who I kept looking at, and he looked familiar. It's probably from Event Horizon. He's in Event Horizon, Equilibrium, The Invitation, Goal, Swing Kids, also Doomsday. I kept looking at him, and he looked really familiar. Not so much. It's probably from Event Horizon is where I recognize him. Kevin McKidd, who's in Trainspotting 2, Brave, It Ends With Us, Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief. I'll say those are like our big ones. Yeah, I'll say those are our big people. But general plot, I believe Scottish soldiers? Doesn't really say. Some of them are Scottish, some of them are British. Soldiers in the UK somewhere are sent out on a training mission. The training mission is that the platoon is split in half. One team's on one side, another team is like 50 miles away on the other side, and the goal is to meet in the middle without spotting the other side. Basically, one side has to get the jump on the other side. Everyone's shooting blanks. It's totally just like a normal military exercise that lasts like a week. And that's what they're doing. In the middle of all this, werewolves. The movie then becomes a cabin in the woods movie, kind of. It's all done at like one location after the initial opening. They're in a farmhouse, and they just got to survive the night. Basically, it is. You get like a countdown from when daylight's coming. You'll hear characters say like, "Oh, 6 hours till daytime." There's some shots of a clock where you'll see like, "Oh my god, it's like only 3:20 a.m." Like they still got so much time before daylight, so they have to wait until the sun comes up. And there's a woman there who's a zoologist who she tells them that 2 years ago she was asked to come down here and help study these things, so she knows a little bit more about them than she's letting on initially. And that's like your whole movie. It is just soldiers and a woman trying to survive the night with some twists and turns here and there that I won't get into because I really liked this movie and I would love to rate it much higher, but unfortunately the Tubi rip is terrible. And if we're going off of the rip that I watched, I have to rate it fairly on that. My big positives that I'm going to say is the script is really tight. The acting is really good. The story and the concept are engaging and entertaining and genuinely like really thoughtful. Like it really feels like Neil Marshall, who also wrote the film, really sat down with this concept and tried to flesh it out and tried to like, because there's not like any glaring like, well, why did they just do this? Like almost every single time that you'd question something like, why wouldn't they try this? Or why wouldn't they go to do something? Like, why wouldn't they just try to make, like, it's all thrown in there, and everything that could possibly be done is done and tried and fails or is like kind of a glimmer, but not like every single thing that you would think of to try to do gets done in this movie, and you get like your answer as to why they wouldn't attempt to do these things, such as like trying to get away, get to a car, hotwire a car to get out, like whatever. I won't say what the big twist is in the movie, except that I kind of saw it coming. It's not like a great twist, but it's one of those twists where you can see coming, but the fact that you can see it coming doesn't ruin it because now you're almost anticipating it and waiting for that moment to happen. And when it happens, it's really good because it heightens everything. We're already at like a moment of like climax here where it's like we're on our last ditch effort. Let's try to just like blow them up. And then the twist happens and now everything's heightened. One person's like going to turn into a werewolf, one person separated than like our main character somewhere. Like it's all perfectly done. It makes it look so effortless to just like get this story out the way that they did. I don't think I can talk enough about how good the script is for this and the story concept, all of that. It's all so well done. The biggest criticism is this movie is great on all terms, except for the movie itself. Visually, looking at this movie, I thought it was shot digitally. Like I thought it was shot on like digital cameras from 2002. Like it looks that bad sometimes. The outside, when they're outside in the daytime, it has like this, I can't describe it, like smear. I said like Vaseline somewhere, like it's a smear of Vaseline, but it's not really that. I can't tell if this movie just like looks terrible. Like this movie looks like sci-fi channel original because it's not like whenever I say a smear of Vaseline, I imagine like a PS2 game blown up on an HD TV because those games have like this awful motion blur and it just looks like shit. Every PlayStation 2 game looks terrible on an HD screen. It's not that, it's like something else. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's like a digital artifact over film look. It's weird, but it makes everything so much harder to see and look at visually. And then once it becomes night, which I don't know, 75-80% of this movie's at night, there are moments where the camera will do like quick pans, and the quick pan is just like like you just can't see what it's panning to. And then when it'll show something that like a character's gonna grab, and it's like, oh, this is the thing that's gonna give them the upper hand. Except, what? I just saw a black screen with maybe a little fucking glimmer. It is so hard to tell what's going on. Oh, the letter opener, the silver from the camper. The campers that was set up in the very beginning. The good thing about that is usually, which almost makes me wonder if like how intentional was the lighting to make it that hard to read. Like how intentional was the lighting, because when you see that and it's like, oh, an object or an item or whatever that'll give them the upper hand, you can't see it, but then within like the 30 seconds of them grabbing it, it's used. And then you can see it because at least there's like a light shaft from a window or like a candle light somewhere. You can make out what it is. So you're not like left in the dark for too long. It would be different if it was something that was, they were trying to set something up like 20 minutes ago, and then it would come up, because if they showed it to you 20 minutes ago, you probably A, didn't fucking see it, and B, might not remember it, because this movie doesn't really do that too often. It does it with one thing. One thing at the beginning of the movie comes back all the way to the end, which was clever, because I didn't think it was going to. I thought these things were two totally unrelated whatevers, but once it gets to a certain point, you kind of realize like, oh, no, that initial thing in the beginning was related to this, and it is coming back now. No, overall, I really like this movie. This would be high up there with Maniac Cop 1 for surprise of how much I liked it. I've heard the premise before. I've been aware of this movie. I've just never seen it, and then I bought it and was like, cool, I'll see it, because I didn't really think to look on Tubi to see if it was there, to be honest with you. But I bought it at a thrift store and was like, sick, I have it. And then I was doing some digging and was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about this film's reputation of being like the worst thing to ever to look at, because you just can't see anything. So I was kind of scared off from watching it, but I figured, you know what, for this, let's watch the Tubi version. Worst comes to worst, it's the exact same rip from this. And thankfully it was an HD rip, but it is not a great HD rip. What I will say for Dog Soldiers is it would 100% be up there with Maniac Cop 1 in terms of surprise and rating for how much I enjoyed this movie. However, I have to take like a whole point away, because this movie's so hard to look at. It is so hard to see what's going on. Everything about it is like 100% perfect. Visually, you know, I don't know, there's like 3 parts to making a movie. It's like sound, visuals, and script. I think with these 3 things, you can suffer on everything else, acting, whatever. If you've got good audio, you've got a good camera, and you've got a good script. I really feel like you can even sacrifice like decent camera quality as long as your audio is good and your script is good. And then sacrificing the script, get good audio visual, you kind of just get like mid-budget action movies. Like, you know, you've got these 3 things. You get like get bad audio with good visuals and a good script, then it's frustrating. That's like the trifecta of film in general, for me at least. And you flubbed the visuals so bad that everything else has to do double duty. And the sound is pretty good. Pretty standard, honestly. It's nothing amazing, but the sound's like fine. It gets its point across. You're kind of reliant for some things because of the visuals being so muddy and dark. But the script is the script and the story is like borderline perfect for what this movie is. Because of that, I've got to drop Dog Soldiers down a point and give it a 3.5 out of 5. I wish I could give it at least a 4, but it almost got headache-inducing at some point towards the end. It almost got nauseating, almost headache-inducing towards the end. It was not the roughest viewing experience, but it was definitely like Alexa Turner has the roughest viewing experience, and I gave that a 4. but it's just, I wish it looked better. I do want to get that 4K Blu-ray and check that out, because I think that's going to be the perfect way to watch this, because I do want to watch this again in better clarity, because I really like this. I genuinely would recommend it. You just kind of have to go out of your way a little bit to watch it, or deal with the not so great Tubi upload. Okay, come back tomorrow for something. I don't know how to describe this. Well, that was quick. Oh! Oh! Ow! Oh my God!